LivingEmunah, book number 2 by Rabbi David Asher, part 4. There is far more good. Many psukim speak of Hashem's kindness, such as the word is built with kindness in Tehillim 89 and 3, or the kindness of God is all day long in Tehillim 52 and 3, and for he decided kindness in Michach 7:18. This point that Hashem is kind cannot be stressed enough because our natural tendency is to think otherwise. Rabbi Fischel Schachter drew a comparison to a wealthy businessman who, after an intense corporate meeting, went to the rooftop of the building to get some fresh air. As he stepped onto the roof, the door slammed shut behind him and locked. There was no one on the top floor who could hear him, and the building was too tall for anyone down on the street to hear him or take notice of him. Realizing he was stuck, he decided he would throw something down to the street to catch someone's attention. He had some very expensive coins in his pocket, and so he took one and threw it down. The coin hit a man on the head and then bounced onto the floor. The man picked it up, looked at it and said, "Wow, today is my lucky day." He put the coin in his pocket and continued along his way. The man then dropped the second coin, which ricocheted off to the side of the building and fell right in front of a different man. The man bent down to pick it up, realized it was worth a lot, smiled and put it in his pocket. Neither of these two men bothered to look up to see where the coin came from. Frustrated, the man took a small rock and dropped it from the rooftop. It hit the man's foot, and the man immediately looked up and started shouting at the man who dropped the rock on him. When good things happen, we don't bother to look up to see where it comes from. When something negative occurs, however, we all start pointing fingers, seeking whom to blame. This is true with regard to Hashem as well. When life is going well, we don't bother to look up and say, "Hashem, you are so kind, thank you." On those days when things happen that we are not happy with, we say things like, "Hashem, how could you do this? It's not fair." Nonetheless, we generally wake up in the morning with all our body parts working properly. We get out of a bed on our own. We get dressed on our own. We kiss our children and send them off knowing that they will have an enjoyable day. We drive to the synagogue to pray to Hashem. We learn Torah and we go to work to earn some money. This routine goes on for days, months and years without us appreciating this great chesed that Hashem grants us. Despite this, when things go wrong, we want to know why Hashem isn't helping, why Hashem isn't kind. Sometimes we hear a couple who cannot have children and we think to ourselves, why isn't Hashem helping them? Where is his chesed? However, we don't think of the 360,000 births that take place every single day, 250 miracles a minute. Negative news is more interesting than good news, and for this reason news reporters tell us only of the bad things that are happening. Therefore, this is what our brains are used to hearing. True, on one hand, there are people still looking for a chidush, and we all hope and pray that they will soon be happily married. On the other hand, there are nights when we have 2 or even 3 weddings to attend. This is Hashem's kindness, and this is the norm. There are so many weddings, so many babies born, and lots of healthy people. We need to focus on what is good and appreciate Hashem's kindness. The more we realize how kind Hashem really is, the easier it will be to handle those situations when his chesed is not apparent, and the easier it will be to turn to him for help during those periods, knowing that Hashem wants us to be happy. We need to constantly remind ourselves that the world is built with kindness, and the kindness of God is all day long, for he desires kindness.